Is the mic on? Are we talking right now? Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show this morning. It is Michelle Bryant here, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. Let me say good morning to Carvey. Hey, Carvey, how you doing this morning? How you doing this morning, Carvey? Carvey is feeling great. Multimedia mogul. You still didn't get his mic done? Did you try play?
Told him speaking to the mic. Man.
When you gonna get his mic fixed, man?
You gotta give me.
When you gonna do that?
I have to purchase a little.
Spare me. I know, because this has been 2 weeks now. Spare me your little speech. I just can't. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your little speech.
So if, just pay attention. Watch this. You'll see that I'm not on one. That one is this one. Then these three are those. There are no other colors like these colors.
Hey, bro.
Which means it only
spare
affords us
me
these many.
Hey, fam.
So I still have to purchase.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just how was service yesterday? I know you went to church yesterday. Where'd you go?
So anyway, Carvey, multimedia mogul, music, clothing, came in letting us know, in addition to buying his music, now we got to buy his fits that his company's working with and promoting. And, I just like multiple streams of income. I love it. Only 19.
It is exciting.
What is this brother going to be at 30? Multiple streams of income at 19. And they all legal. Nobody's going to jail. He going to be able to treat me to Moe's and not go to jail. I so appreciate it. Moe's is a steakhouse. That's going to set you back about $300 to take me.
Does that include his meal?
I said to take me.
Okay. You don't like 5 o'clock?
It's all right. It's good.
Yeah, I like Corpus.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's even Corpus anymore. It's just called 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock steakhouse. Hello, Mr. I can't manage to get nothing done. How you doing today?
Now you want to talk to
me? I mean, it's up to you, bro.
Well, do it.
It's up to you.
You ain't gonna do me like you do me. It's up not to you. Not gonna be Meeks Jr. around here. Handling men folk rough.
Real? Is that what we're doing?
They say. They
handling men folk
handle men
rough.
Real rough around here.
Really?
It's all in the streets.
Well, you know what? Brothers is some rough handlers. So, yeah, we got a call. What you clicking buttons for?
I'm gonna get them parked. I'm gonna get them staged.
What you reaching for?
Get them staged.
I mean, they hung up. Look.
Good.
Talking about
good.
Handling brothers
we ain't
rough.
Ready.
Brothers be rough handlers. I think I've heard that somewhere before.
Michelle, I asked you again, how was church? Which service did you? I got yelled.
Did you go to church?
I was.
While you in my business,
I was going to go.
Did you go to church? It's a yes or no.
Of going.
It's a yay or nay.
But then Sharon
called.
No, Sharon called because somebody was running.
It's a head nod
behind.
Or a head shake.
No.
Did you? Okay, then. You always got a long story with your lack of not doing nothing.
Well, hey.
You didn't go to church because why?
I had other obligations.
Okay, well, and last Sunday? And the Sunday before that?
Other obligations.
And the Sunday before that?
Carvey was out of town.
Oh, that was Carvey's fault? That was Carvey's fault?
Yeah, because
Carvey's out of town one weekend. You ain't been to church since when? Okay, there we go.
Do we count funerals?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. Well, not this year.
What'd you say? What?
What'd he say? What about what? I was gonna say what about Oh, yeah, I could use that. I could use
You
that.
can't use that.
If the preacher's here,
That don't mean he preaching. Whatever,
he
man.
preaching on there, and
Did
I'm
you put
here.
up? Did you put up an offering?
Offering don't mean you don't have to give offering.
I'm just
to get nothing
saying.
out of church.
Since the preacher was here, did you put up an offering?
Michelle,
All right, family.
I got
As
a
you can
question for
see,
you. I
what?
got a question for you.
Dude, what, man?
I got a question
Jesus,
for you.
can I do this? What?
It just ran across my mind just now. Do you know of any? Because I do. Husband and wife
Lord,
that go to two different churches.
What I do? If
Now
I
you want to
didn't have
sing
a friend
like
you.
Do you know of any like that though?
Lord, I don't
Husband and wife go to two different
what
churches.
I do.
And if so, why?
If I didn't have a friend like you. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just going to fade to black.
Yes, I know men and women that are married that attend different churches.
Why is that?
Usually it's because either they got married later in life or they were already members of their own respective churches and both decided that they wanted to continue to go to their own church. Some, because some of the brothers is like to his wife, your church service is too long. This church over here be in for an hour. I can get back in time and see the game. It's a whole bunch of reasons. But yeah, I know quite a few people that they don't worship together.
It's like splitting hairs though, isn't it?
Is it really? It's not. It's not. I like my pastor. You like your pastor. I like this style of church. You like this type of church.
Before we jump the broom,
we don't have to be on the same page about where we worship, bro. Long as we worship and we believe in faith, and
see, you getting a different
it guides
word.
our life.
You're getting a different word.
Why is the word different?
And then I get
it's a different style.
We come home and the words don't match up.
Well, you know what? Go with whatever her words say.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Whatever words she received.
Whatever.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Since, the words don't match and line up. Yeah. I thought that pretty much was universal. But, you just always got to figure out a way. Let me see. Now you got people weighing in.
I mean, it just seems
yes
to me.
To the separate church question. Yes.
What does that mean? Yes. To the separate
yes, they know people that go to separate churches.
And that works in their house.
Evidently. Why wouldn't it work? Does she go to the same bar you go to? Does she go to the same club you go to?
Why are you gonna try to say I go to?
Yeah, because you do.
I work there.
Well, aside from work, bro, spare me.
She,
yeah, right.
This little dude right here.
Carby, I love Carby. Carby be taking all kind of body shots.
Yeah, it's always on your side though.
Yeah, I mean, because it needs to be.
Yeah,
he understands.
He always got you.
He understands.
He never. I don't know about.
Well, it's not because he's picking sides.
Oh yeah.
It's because he just see,
He stands up for what's right. That part.
And I'm always
not.
Go ahead and say it.
Not.
And I'm always
not
on the right side. All right. So, somebody said I just love tuning in to the Ike and Tina show. Good morning. I love listening to the Ike and Tina morning show. Wow. What'd you say? Tina's more aggressive. Because
in this one right here, Tina's the aggressive.
I'm the new Tina.
Yeah. Did I see you, new Tina?
Yeah, I'm the new Tina.
I saw that.
You saw it. All right, family. So, a couple of things. First of all, I did go to church this Sunday. Jermaine Rideout, who is the producer for my show in the afternoon, sent a text message. What time did this text message come through? He sent a text message. Let me see where it got. Okay. He sent a text message on Saturday at 6:00. Hey, fam, if you are free tomorrow, come visit church. Unity Gospel House of Prayer.
Oh, over there with Marlon Locke.
So I was like, okay, Jermaine don't ask a lot of me. I needed to go to church. So I went. Pleasantly surprised. Very different experience. blown away when I was walking in the door at the number of young, and when I say young, I'm talking 15 to 24 young people at this church. I mean, it was like somebody sent a text thread out, and all of the young people said, "This is the church we going to this Sunday," and that they had to be 500 deep up in there. Um, he did altar call. The first person that walked up for altar call probably was about 11, 12 years old, but it was easily 50 to 60 people at altar call, all coming to join church. Do you know how many pastors got to beg for like 20 minutes to get one person to come down? And you'd be like, Pastor, give it up, bruh. Ma'am, it's over.
Ain't
Nobody's
nobody
coming
coming.
down. Your sermon didn't move nobody. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
part of that is because you have a young
But
pastor.
yeah, I mean, if you even go, so I went to their website to pull up the website, and this is um, Pastor Marlon Locke and First Lady Kimberly Locke.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the website, like one of the first pictures that comes up, so there's a couple, but it looks like him and her like kind of dancing. Like he clearly is busting some kind of move. And you like, that's not what you expect when you go to the website of a church. Very youthful. I think he said he's only 48 years old in the sermon yesterday, because he was talking about he went to Great America and thought he was young, and then later Saturday night found out he wasn't. Um, but just a very different style. A lot of that traditional stuff that you see in church. And now, from what I understand, this was his grandfather's church.
Right.
And when his grandfather transitioned,
Mm-hmm.
he became the pastor. Left the Milwaukee Police Department because he was a police officer, I think he said, for like 5 years. Um, but the whole approach is very, very different. Like when church ended, I didn't realize church had ended. I was just kind of standing there like, oh, that's how they end church? Because it wasn't that, God be with you.
Yeah.
And it was none of that.
So you didn't stop like, hey, we didn't do God be with you.
I mean, it just was one of the moments I looked around and I said, oh, church has ended.
Mm.
And everybody clearly knew, because I was the only one still like, we.
A heathen in there.
I'm just saying. But
what kind of heathen don't know that their service is over?
Because I'm used to a
some
certain
indication.
But there was I didn't get it. I
Did you doze off?
No, I couldn't. It was a little baby with his little dookies kept kicking me during service. I was looking at his mama like, for real, me and your baby gonna fight? He's stretched out across 3 women. He's stretched out, and he just teared me up on the side. And she was like, I said, it's okay. But I was about to bust him up because I'm like, little boy, you kick me one more time. But he was a baby, so I couldn't say nothing. But I just I talked to Pastor Locke. And Jermaine introduced me to him after service. Extremely, gracious, extremely nice. I told him I would come back because I just was so blown away. Like so many churches, to me, in a lot of ways, look like they're gonna die off because they don't have young members.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these churches, you hard pressed to find children. And when I should say young people, because everybody can force their grandkids to go. Them babies, under.
I don't know exactly what relation, but Evolve is related. They're
in some way there's a connection.
Either his uncle or their cousins or something. But yeah, Evolve came out of that church.
They done put the memo out, and they got I just, like I said, I cannot say it enough times. I was talking about it like mostly yesterday to different people that I was encountering, just talking about the experience. And he's a good preacher. His delivery was great, energetic. The only problem me and him gonna have is he be doing too much turn to your neighbor. Now look here, bruh. I ain't come to do this kind of work.
That's their grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, but he do it like 100 times. So, hey, I ain't come here. I come for all of that. I try to talk to these people. He was like, turn to your neighbor, tell your neighbor, shake your neighbor. Stand up and shout. I'm like, hey, it's too much work. It is too much work at this church now. I ain't come here for all of this, but it was good. It was a good service. And he sung at the end. I mean, he sung. He can sing.
He's a recording artist.
Oh, I didn't know.
He has music in the marketplace.
He has a great voice. He did a great job. Jermaine, band, they were all stellar. So it was a good experience. So I want to thank Jermaine for inviting me.
What you gonna come go with me when
Y-
I invite you?
yeah. Since I know that ain't gonna be no time soon, I can say yes on the air. Yes. Yes, Devo.
All
As
right, I'm gonna
soon as you
text you.
go to
I'm
church,
gonna text you
I will
next
be
Sunday.
right there.
Next Sunday,
I will be right
and we gonna
there.
bust through them doors together.
Oh, to your question, somebody did answer. They said it seems to work well. Some marry later in life and are already well established in a church. They support each other at functions. See, told you.
Mm.
All right, so that was that. The other thing that I want to mention real quickly is that we did the college fair, HBCU,
Mhm.
college and tribal fair, military is there, fire and police are there. Um, the trades are represented, although I think somebody didn't show up, but I ain't gonna call them out on air. Um, but um, the number of young people that came through, first of all, to parents who brought their students through, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Even now, in her capacity as Judge Lena Taylor and State Representative Lakeisha Myers continued their partnership on bringing the HBCU College Fair. Um, and it was a huge success. One of the things that I will say is that there are a number of colleges that come prepared to do admissions letters on site, offers of acceptance on site. And so I had to leave and go back and forth. On Saturday while the event was going on because of some other stuff I was doing. But when I came back in to help clean up and break down, uh, I was inundated. I heard people talking about it as they were leaving, people that didn't know me that were just walking by and just talking. And they were like, can you believe this young brother got a full ride scholarship to so and so school? And I was like, listening. And so when I got inside, I saw a good friend and he told me, he said, yeah, this young brother got a $25,000 a year reoccurring scholarship to an HBCU. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, the tuition is $25,499. So all he is responsible for is $499. I was like, get out of here. So then I go on in and I'm talking, and then I find out this young brother, and I think his name was Quavion. It was, if it wasn't Quavion, it's something similar to that. He had received multiple acceptance letters. So evidently, young brother goes to Golda Meir. He walks in the door with a 3.7 GPA, and uh, he was able to write his own ticket. He was able to write his own ticket with that 3.7. And so he was offered this. He had the letter in his hand. They did it on site. It's up to him whether or not that'll be one of his options or he chooses that. But if all else fails, this young man has a letter in hand, basically full 4-year ride, with the exception of about $2,000 over the course of those 4 years. That was crazy to me. And he also won the TV in the raffle. So, he was like, oh, this was a good day. Um, Judge Taylor tapped in. She said it was at Livingstone College in North Carolina. Thank you, Judge Taylor. So yeah, so he had a great day, and I just want to thank my frat brother Daryl Williams. He shows up at all of these community events. This brother always got his camera out. He's always taking photos. He's like, acting as a steward of many of our events and history that's happening around us, and I appreciate him for the work that he does. And so, yeah, so I got to see pictures of the young brother from a number of people. And I've talked to some other students who had gotten, offer letters to attend, acceptance letters. It just is a great thing. And I just tell people all the time, like, if you don't bring your child to the HBCU college fair, tribal colleges, trades, the fire and police, like, you sleeping on this, because this is a free opportunity. One little girl, she walked away with a luggage set, and State Rep Myers, because we had a raffle prizes up there, the kids can choose what they want in the raffle. And she was like, I really need that luggage. Rep Myers was like, that's your luggage stand. Take that luggage. we come together, we pay for a lot of stuff out of our pocket. We also find sponsors to help us, with like the lunches, because the vendors, because these people are coming and giving their time, we want to make sure at least we can feed them while they're there. But it is an amazing time, and I am so thankful again for the parents that help make this available and accessible to their children, and to the team of volunteers, or workers, Senator Taylor's, Judge Taylor's whole staff, Ravel, Justin, they come in and help set up. Solana, from Milwaukee Food Council, she always volunteers. She comes in and helps to set up. Um, Christina out of Rep Meyer's office. I think her husband was with her. So there are people that come the night before, 9 o'clock at night, trying to make sure everything is set up for people to walk in the door. So it was a great day. I think this is now the sixth one that we have had. The AKA showed up with a trunk of items. We asked people, partners, to bring things to help us for the raffles with the children. AKA consistently shows up with something, and it is highly, highly appreciated. And I know AKA got 2 alumni chapters, so I'm not sure which alumni chapter it is, but they always show up to help out. So again, it was a great event. I want to thank everybody that participated, and we are already planning for next year. It is interesting. Both of these women will be out of the state legislature at that time. Senator Taylor, now Judge Taylor, so she's been out for almost a year. State Representative Myers, this is her last term in her capacity as state assembly. And so she comes out at the end of the year, but they have committed to make sure that this event continues. So that's what I'm saying. Service, even when you leave a building. All right, family. So let me take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll be right back. Show. So a couple of things. Want to make sure that everybody understands some updates on election information. So a couple of things. Remember before we had a caller who had called in and said that they had attempted to go to drop off their ballot and they got to the library or to a drop off location and there was a sign letting them know that they couldn't drop ballots off in person yet. That moment has now come. So if you are someone who had an absentee ballot mailed to your home and you want to get it turned back in and you don't want to drop it in the mail, you have the ability now to take it to 24-hour secure drop boxes throughout the city of Milwaukee. So from today, Monday, October 14th, through Tuesday, November 5th, you can drop off your ballot. Now, there are a number of libraries that are in play: Atkinson, Bayview, Capitol, Center Street, Central Library downtown, East Library, Good Hope, Mitchell, Tippecanoe, Villard, Washington Park, and Zablocki. All of those libraries are in play. Also, the Election Operations Center, which is over off of KK, it is also in play. Early voting centers for folks who want to go vote early in person. That has not started yet. That starts next week, Tuesday. I am a person, I like to early vote in person. So October 22nd through November 2nd, you can do that. October 22nd, so next Tuesday through November 2nd, you can early vote. The usual places: Capitol Drive Voting Center, up off of 60th and Capitol, Zyler Municipal Building, downtown on Broadway, Serb Hall, 5101 West Oklahoma Avenue. Those weekday hours run till 7 p.m. Voting can start as early as 9 a.m. And on the weekends, 10 a.m. to 2, Sundays, 12 to 4. The libraries will also be open for early voting centers: Good Hope, Tippecanoe, Washington Park, and Mitchell Street. And you can get the hours for those, but basically it's 1 to 7, Monday and Tuesday, 11 to 5, Wednesday through Friday. And then on Saturday on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Folks over near the UWM area, you can early vote at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee in the Zalazzo Center. I guess that's the student union, 2419 East Kenwood. And then you can also vote downtown at MATC, Milwaukee Area Technical College, in the Student Center building. So there are a number of options, both centrally located downtown, north side, south side. People are trying to make it as easy as possible for you to get to a location to either be able to drop off your ballot or to actually cast your votes during the early voting period. On election day only, secure drop boxes, because I want to go back and just make sure I say that you can only drop that ballot off up until 6 p.m. So if you're saying, I'm gonna drop it off on election day, you have to get that done by 6 p.m. If you are doing it at City Hall or if you're doing it at the Baird Center, and that was a new one for me, you can drop it off at City Hall up until 7 p.m., at the Baird Center up until 8 p.m. And both of those locations, they start at 7 a.m. in which you can get these ballots done. So remember, I was helping somebody with their absentee ballot stuff yesterday in terms of making sure they remembered that they needed the signature. They needed, in terms of a witness, that witness had to sign, they had to print their name, and they had to provide their address, making sure people thoroughly read their ballot so that they didn't miss anything and they understood everything that was involved. If you are somebody that needs assistance with your ballot, if you need to get help reading it or filling it out, you may ask for assistance from anyone who is not your employer or a representative of your labor union, or if their name is on the ballot. Okay. Uh, the assistant can also be your witness and help you with that. So a couple of other quick things about those absentee ballots. With your absentee return envelope, if someone signs your absentee return envelope on your behalf, make sure they also sign in the area that says certification of assistant section. People can't just sign for you because for whatever reason you're unable to sign and not complete that area. So make sure they also sign in the certification of assistant area. And again, your assistant can also serve as your witness. Um, with your ballot, the assistant can read you your ballot and fill it out under your direction on how you want them to vote, but they obviously can't tell you how to vote. I've had a couple people reach out because they damaged their ballot when they were trying to complete it. If you make a mistake while marking your ballot or completing the return envelope, please call the municipal clerk. They can deal with any questions you have. They can help you request a new ballot if you need one. They can help you do all of that. But again, if you have made a mistake on that ballot and you just want to scratch through and say, I would call the municipal clerk. Caller, I see you. I'll be right there. I will call the municipal clerk first because some of these things you can't scratch through. You can't, you know, just cross it out and write. So you can't do that. So you want to make sure that your vote is counted. Reach out to the local Milwaukee Election Commission, municipal clerk, to be able to get that information. Right now, I think she is still the municipal clerk, Claire Woodall Vogue, but we all know that there was some big shakeup at City Hall. So she's actually going to be on her way out soon. And there was a bunch of drama. We still never have found out, at least I haven't, what was going on with Claire and why she was being pushed out or chose to leave the city. Yeah, when is that story going to be written? Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Oh, I just want to share something that I'm not sure how many people are aware because when I got my absentee ballot, it stayed partisan and didn't state general, which I feel could be a challenging thing for people who are used to doing the partisan, where you had to stay in a party. Where in this ballot, you don't have to stay in the party, and there's no explanation shown on any of the paperwork that came with my absentee ballot, which could mean it could cause a problem of people who might want to do one area in one party and another area in another party. And these are the type of things that really bothered me. I called the election commission, but they never got back to me. But the thing is, I just called every radio station of people I knew to let them know, because so that those who are aware of it can explain it to people. Because they shouldn't have to go through the police. There should have been a letter showing that this is not the same type of partisan that was in the previous ballots.
Well, I tell you what, let me, and in fact, I'll reach out to the election commission and see if I can get somebody to call in to walk people through that. Because, yep, I know you raised that concern last week. And so let me follow up. I'll do both. I'll, talk about it myself, but I'll also get somebody in to talk about it specifically in relationship to how people can cast their ballots or cast their
Thank you.
votes. Yes, ma'am.
Have a
Thank you. Yep, you as well.
blessed.
All right, bye-bye. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hey, caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I'm on the air?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me get off speaker.
Okay.
Hey, that church you went to first off, was that by Speed Queen?
Yes, it was.
I went to that church and I said if I was to join a church, I would be very interested in that church. I guess it's a style, but they come from a long religious family, that I guess the granddaddy was a preacher.
That's what I understand.
That's the guy who's running for, I forget what Russell Goodwin is running for, but that's his granddad also.
Russell. Oh, really?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay.
And that guy is very talented. I've been knowing him for years. That guy could play all kind of music, but at one time, I don't know about now, he couldn't even read music.
Okay.
But what I call for, what's the criteria if somebody is a felon when it comes to vote?
You know what? I will walk through that. In fact, and I want give me a minute. When I do my next break times, when I come back from my next break, I'll walk through that whole thing for you. Not a problem.
Answer, and it's if you're not on probation or parole, even with a felony record, you can vote.
Right. Right.
And can we kind of put that out there the next 3 weeks, just a little bit?
Yep. No,
A lot of
because
people don't know.
one
So
of the things,
you,
not a problem. We can do that because I
okay,
also
you
want to.
guys are the voice, and y'all got a good following. So let's do that on these radio stations. Thanks. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Because the other thing I was going to say is that there's been education to even help individuals understand that even if you are currently locked up, but you have not been convicted, you're not going to trial, you don't have a previous felony conviction, and being on paper that would prevent you from voting, that you can still vote even from behind bars. So yeah, it's a little bit more comprehensive, but the gist of it is, even if you are formerly convicted of a felony, and you no longer are on paper, you should have your rights reinstated to vote, and you can legally vote in the state of Wisconsin. I know that there were some people that were at a prayer breakfast on Saturday down in Beloit, and they were finding out that they could actually their voting rights should have been restored. And there was some people down there completely shocked and blown over, like, wait, what? And literally talking about the fact that they didn't receive any of that information upon exit from the correctional facility. So I don't know how well that's being stressed to people or talked about, but I certainly will walk through that aspect of voting as well. Let me go to the phone line. I got another caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle,
Good morning.
Debo, and Carvey. And yeah, I remember, when you have to vote along party lines, the next time we do an election, it's bipartisan. So that means you have to read up over the top of each one of those categories. I methodically went very slow because I didn't want to ruin my ballot and discovered that that's where that was going. But my only other thing is, over the weekend, I heard so many disturbing things. And I have another question about felons. Can they get a letter from someone saying that they're eligible to vote?
That they're done with paper. There should be, again, let me get the document because I want to make sure I'm speaking to it specifically.
Okay.
But there should be something that in case they ever get challenged, that they're able to say they get something when they're what's it called?
I don't think they've been getting
when
it,
their parole is completed. They get a document.
I don't think they've been getting it because there's too many questions about it. And I'm sure in years to come, maybe next year, that we have a guy that's running for president of the United States of America, have all these felons. They're gonna have to do something with that because it's not fair and it's not right. And then over the weekend, I heard so much disturbing stuff, like saying you cannot be a Democrat and you're a Christian.
Yeah, I heard that too, because they were saying basically that Democrats, a lot of Democrats support a woman's right to her own reproductive health decisions in terms of an abortion.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Democrats believe that you have a choice, just as God give us a choice, and there are consequences to your choices. And just like we take up for the gays, well, they have civil rights just as you have civil rights to a job, housing, health insurance. They're people. They're human. What gives you the audacity to think that you're everything? And these commercials, please, people, use critical thinking when you see those commercials. 1 minute you saw Humpty that was saying he's going to do something with Social Security. You have to work till you're 70 and all this kind of stuff. Now it's reversing it, putting it the other way. Do they think we're idiots? Or maybe they do. But anyway, when I heard this too many times, I thought, oh no, I got to mention this on Michelle's show because this is crazy. And the black men, I don't know what's going on with them. And the people that are still on the fence, I don't know what fence they're on, but I know this much. Play around with your democracy and worry about having a gun more than your freedom of speech and your right to make choices, and see how safe that gun makes you. Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about brothers. There was a clip on CNN in which Jim Clyburn, who actually has come to the radio station, Congressman um, James Clyburn, in helping to get out voters for Harris, and he was on CNN the other night and was talking about whether or not they are concerned about the black male vote. And so I'm going to actually play that clip this morning. What was also interesting is I had an opportunity to hear from, and I'll get the brother's name, in the entertainment industry, who was talking about Kamala Harris. And, I just don't understand. You don't have to support Kamala Harris. You don't. But the constantly calling this woman a B by these brothers, it makes no sense to me. It literally makes, because, some of these Negroes are acting like they don't have some personal contact with Kamala Harris, which they have not. And that she has personally egreged them in some way, which she has not. But to be so willing to be on outlets and interviews and media and just constantly keep this B, this B, this B. And the brother, as he was calling her B, talking about, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, but I'm like, but bruh, help me understand why you got to talk about it in this way. And you didn't mention a single piece of policy or legislation. The continued gripe, whenever you can finally get somebody to say it, is that she's a prosecutor. So no black people should be prosecutors. That's what you're telling me. No black people should be judges. No black people should be in a district attorney's office. Because that's the rationale. But then nobody wants to take the time to look at what was done in that capacity and how people were helped and folks re-entering were given different resources because she was in the room and because she was at the table. And then my brother at 5 a.m. hits me up this morning in his frustration. And I'm just going to read his text because I didn't see this interview, but I'm going to go back and pull it. My brother hit me up at 5:03 this morning. He said, CNN interviewed a black guy out of Milwaukee last night. He said he was going to vote for Trump because of the economy. He said he can overlook the bigotry. And later on in the interview, this ignorant blank, this is my brother talking, said he couldn't vote for Kamala because she was in law enforcement and she was a prosecutor because the judicial system has a history of treating blacks unfairly. He needs to hear what he said and ask himself, does this make sense? So on one hand, I don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because she's in law enforcement and law enforcement has historically been unjust to black people. But I'm okay with the ignorant racist bigot that is Donald Trump. Make it make sense. So I'm mad at her. When people talk about crime and public safety, and we need to do something about reckless driving, and we need to do something about these streets, we got young people being hurt, cars being stolen. They looking for a prosecutor. But I guess the prosecutors can't be black. I guess they can't be black. I guess if you black, you can never work in law enforcement. But the minute something happened, that's who you looking for. But I'm gonna tell y'all before I get fully bent out of shape and because I'm a blow a gasket. We got 21 days left in this election, and I already understand I gotta pace myself. But the other thing I had to slow down for a second and think about: most of these ignorant Negroes ain't even voting anyway. The likelihood is great they didn't vote the last time, and they not voting this time. Now, that does not mean that we don't have to worry and that we don't have to, turn out the vote and we don't have to do everything we can. But most of these people that's talking and being interviewed My money is they probably have not been voters. But this whole thing, but if they keep talking crazy long enough, it poisons the well. More brothers are respectful about whatever they doing than these few jerks that keep showing up on social media feeds and in interviews. And so from that standpoint, I'm cool because the majority of brothers, and I'm not saying the majority of brothers is voting for Kamala, I'm saying the majority of brothers are handling this in a way that's respectful. And I'm fine with that. What I'm not okay with is these brothers who think they got a license to just call this sister out her name and just be ignorant and buffoonish about it, and they act like I'm like, you ain't been nowhere on no political conversation of record. We can't find your input on nothing of substance over the years, but all of a sudden now we talking about this woman running for president, and now you got all of this to say. And then this dude, he was sitting up doing the same thing. She's not a black woman. She's not black. Her mother is Indian. That's all they keep saying. Her mother is Indian. Donald Trump's mama ain't black either. Donald Trump's not black. So why is race an issue when it comes to Kamala Harris? Because race is not an issue for these people when it comes to Donald Trump. But her father is black. And I ain't going to keep arguing with people about whether or not her daddy is black. But remove race from the conversation. And just talk about, I'm so glad Barack Obama comes out. And I just want to say to these brothers, when Barack tells you, y'all giving credit to this dude basically for my work. I left that economy for this cat. He didn't have to build up nothing. He didn't have to bring nothing out of the ruins. He didn't deal with the financial crisis that we were going through when I came into office. He didn't have to deal with the housing industry going bust. He didn't have to figure out how to save the auto industry in this country. A black man did that. Brothers that keep voting for this idiot, a black man did that. And this white dude is standing there trying to take the credit for all of it. But y'all don't see that? I was so glad when Barack Obama finally had to come out of the woodwork and say, hold on, partner, you giving credit to somebody for some work that I did, which is so typical in this country, going all the way back to slavery. Keith, must it always go back to slavery? It does. Because the number of things that brothers and black folks did that other people got credit for have amassed huge wealth on our backs, all the way up to the HeLa cells and Henrietta Lacks, all the way up to that. And you got these handful of brothers that's going around talking about a damn economy. How do you overlook this man's this man's business 5 bankruptcies? That's not somebody who knows what they doing. You bankrupt the casino. That's not somebody who knows what they doing. Your credit is so bad you can't get a loan in the United States of America. That's not somebody who knows what they doing. So you just sit back and you look at the idiocy of what it is that people are saying. But if you were somebody who truly was about this and understood this and wasn't just talking out the side of your neck, you would know that when Barack Obama left office, he left this country in a far superior situation economically than he got it when he became president. And a lot of the foundational work that he did manifested and saw its full benefit during the Trump administration. Trump is sitting around, walking around, taking credit, grinning, skinning, and cheesing based on the back of the work that was done by Biden and Obama. That was Obama's work. And you got these brothers that's willing to willingly give it up to this white dude who got 5 business bankruptcies. And then I have brothers calling here and try to justify him having 5 business bankruptcies like that's some savvy business skills. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not a business guru because you figure out how to game the system and not pay your bills 5 times in a row. Most of us, if somebody was trying to date us, marry us, hook up with us, and they came to the table with 5 bankruptcies, the first thing we would do would be like, hell no. No. You can't date me. You got how many bankruptcies? Now I might give you 1. You got 5, boy, bye. That's what most of us would do in real life. You're willing to be mad at the prosecutor, but not the dude with 34 felony convictions and steady rising. This is the part that's just too much. And that's why I say I got to pace myself. Because I do believe that the majority of these clowns that's talking out loud, they are not voters. I do believe that. Callers, I see you. I'll be right there. I also wanted to bring up, and somebody had hit me up like, are you up on Bonnie Chang? And let me just say this. I'm going to take the article directly from the Journal Sentinel. Milwaukee's number 2 election official has received higher pay by reporting that she is a city resident, even as she declared herself a Madison resident for the purposes of voting. An arrangement defended by her boss. Milwaukee Election Commission Deputy Director Bonnie Chang didn't respond to questions about her claims that she has dual residencies. Her attorney, Frank Gimble, said Chang wouldn't be commenting and has to, quote, straighten some stuff out with her employment. Some questions have been raised about her residence, and she's addressing that, said Gimble. Records show Chang, whom the city hired in February, is receiving some $3,500 more annually than a non-city resident would under the city's incentive pay plan. Under that plan, those who live in Milwaukee get a 3% bump, a program that was put in place after the state Supreme Court tossed the city's residency requirement for city workers. The bonus puts Chang's salary a few cents above $120,000 for a city taxpayer-funded position. At the same time, she has continued to vote in Madison, most recently in the statewide partisan primary on August 13th, according to online voting records. Those records say she lives in a downtown condo just blocks from the state capitol and the city county building where the Madison City Clerk's office, her last employer, is located. The questions about Chang's residency come as the city is gearing up for the November election. And, so all eyes are going to be on who's doing what. So there does need to be clarity, particularly if you're taking the 3% bump in pay for basically being a city resident. So that incentive pay. So do you live in Milwaukee or do you live in Madison? And then what employer, what supervisor gave her permission to do this? And did you do that with the understanding that she was claiming dual residency? So there are questions that need to be answered. Okay, caller, here I come. Let me pull up the next person. Woo. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Hey.
It's just the fact that the black men, some of them are not voting for Kamala just because she's a black woman prosecutor. And that proves it because Chisholm continues to get elected. And part of it's because the black men here are voting for him. Second, it's something how you speak of many of the people speaking that are going for Donald Trump haven't voted. I was at work yesterday on the bus. This one African-American man was on there. He had to be like in his 30s or 40s. We were talking about politics. And he tells me, oh, well, I'm still undecided. I don't know who I'm voting for. I have not voted since President Barack Obama.
He hadn't voted since Obama.
Correct. He said he is still undecided.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, no. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that going on. And you just keep trying to figure out. So what exactly is it that you're not sure about? Because
Right.
that's the question that I have had to ask people when they tell me I'm still undecided. I said, well, what exactly is it that you're unsure about?
Right.
And
So
then
more than
I get a bunch of hemming and hawing. Well,
right.
the economy. Boy, stop playing with me. You don't know a damn thing about the economy. Stop playing with me.
Right.
Please
So more
stop regurgitating what you done heard on television. Tell me exactly what is the issue with the economy. Well, stuff too high. Tell me why stuff is high.
right.
Who
So
made
more
it
than
high? Because
yeah. So
Kamala Harris don't set prices. Who made it high? And then you just get a whole bunch of, see how you coming at me? See, no, because this is what you said.
yeah.
It's the economy. Explain the economy to me. I'm waiting. The feds is waiting. Everybody want to hear your version of how the economy works and what Donald Trump did to make the economy better. You get nothing but freaking crickets, or they're regurgitating talking points they have heard. And when you say explain that to me, they cannot explain it.
Right. Then one last thing, the man you were speaking of that kept mentioning her to be a B when he was speaking. You said he was speaking to you, correct?
No. He was somebody sent me a video, and I'll pull it up. It's in my email. Somebody shared the video with me of him doing an interview, and he was just, but it was on social media, and he was calling her the B repeatedly. So
Okay.
it was in an interview.
Right. Okay. Well,
And
my
then
point.
and then Eddie Griffin said it in his interview.
Okay. All right. Well, I was going to say my point to that was, man, I wonder how he speaks to his wife or girlfriend if he has one.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Because usually when you
thank you.
speak like that out in public, you speak like that inside the house too.
If not worse. Thank you so much. I
Right.
appreciate that call.
Have a good day.
Yep. Nope. You too. Got another caller. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm.
I
You,
know. I already know you like me. I'm frustrated. But listen, honey, this is what I wanted to ask you. I'm 83, and I remember when Bush lifted up that thing. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but he's the one that started the immigration to coming over here because he's something he did, and he lifted it up so they can come across that border. He started that. I remember that distinctly. I can't remember when it was, but I wish somebody would go and fact check that because he's the one that did it. And the reason why I remember, because this guy that I was talking to at the time, a friend of mine, he's a Republican. I said, now here you are. He said, ooh, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. That's going to start something. I said, yeah, okay. But they keep saying that people here in the United States did that, the political people. And it was Bush that opened up the floodgate for them to start coming over here. And I wish somebody would kind of look that up because he sure did it when he was in office. He did that. And I know that for a fact because we were sitting right there watching TV together. He said, oh, he shouldn't have done that. I said, why not? He's a Republican. And that's what happened. I wish you could find that information because that is the truth if I ever told it.
Yes, ma'am. I will look. I'm looking for a few things while you're speaking. I remember. And are you talking Daddy Bush or Son Bush?
The son Bush.
The Son Bush. Okay. I'm looking for a couple things right now, and then I'll follow up on what you said. Okay.
Please do. And
yes, ma'am.
Tell these foolish folks in the audience what happened. That nobody did that but him.
All right. I will definitely look into it. Thank you. Yes,
sure.
ma'am. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. So, I love the listeners to this show. So when I said I was trying to figure out, back to this Milwaukee Election Commission story that's in the paper about the woman who lives in Madison, voted in Madison, but is also claiming that she lives in Milwaukee. Somebody sent me something that says, because you remember Claire Woodall has a whole whatever went on with her and the folks at the city. So they moved Claire around. Okay. And then Claire is ultimately on her way out the door, took away a bunch of her responsibilities. Paulina Gutierrez, who was working with the Department of Corrections, is now the person down at the Election Commission who's running it. They said that, and they said that in the story, her supervisor was okay with what went on in terms of her and her living situation. So somebody hit me up with a text message that said, Paulina knew. This is Paulina Gutierrez. Bonnie, the woman in question, we don't know whether she lives in Madison or Milwaukee, and got the 3% incentive pay that a city resident would get. Bonnie is her, quote, ex-sister-in-law. They are very good friends. So y'all to hire, so if this is correct, and I don't know it to be correct, but if this is correct, then I just want to make sure I understand. So Paulina Gutierrez, and I don't know who hires the deputy. I don't know. I don't know if she does that, if the common council goes on a recommendation, and I don't know who hires her. But now I need to understand for sure if this information that I'm giving is correct, that the number 2 in charge is the ex-sister-in-law of the damn number 1. Help me understand that, y'all. Is the number 2 in charge down at the Milwaukee Election Commission the former sister-in-law of the number 1? And if so, don't nobody see a conflict with that or a problem? It just don't never stop. It just don't never stop. Go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Good morning.
God bless you. I thank you so much. There's another point. I've been arguing with people for the last couple months about who was responsible for that stimulus bills to get across. They've been trying to give credit to Trump. That was a Democratic bill, wasn't it? And Pelosi pushed that over?
It was the Democrats that were pushing for the stimulus plan. Republicans did not want to do what was being done financially for a lot of people. There was a lot of back and forth. Ultimately, when it is finally, done, Trump, like I told people, insisted that his name be on the checks that went out to people. So Trump gave us a check. His name was literally on the check, which had never been done before in terms of a president signing the check, because you're not issuing it for real. So it was all a ploy and a tactic. But Donald Trump fought against a lot of what was done by way of trying to help people financially stay in their homes and stay and keep income coming in during COVID-19. He did not actively fight for people to have stimulus dollars. He didn't.
Okay, good, because I've been arguing with people because
but even let's just say he did. First of all, you still got to account for 1 million people that died in this country. Many of them right here in Milwaukee County. The first person to die from COVID in Milwaukee County was a brother. Exactly. The first one. But you got testing kits that you giving to Vladimir Putin behind the scenes and not trying to figure out how we really combat this whole thing. So I'm just like, so you got a few dollars, but all this other crazy stuff went on at the same time.
Exactly.
That's the part that drives me crazy. People trying to get money to keep folks from being evicted, money to keep folks, getting higher unemployment, money to give for extra food stamps, all of this kind of stuff, which Republicans were all against. They did not want to help these people. They only wanted to help a certain type of people. I don't understand, bro. But thank you for talking to people about it.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely will. There's one other thing for you. I'll let you go here before you let me go.
No problem.
They had that black chick on TV with the restaurant talking about vote for Trump and stuff. And she had a little business, but she got that business during the Biden administration. And I happened to be sitting in that restaurant one morning, and they had some Trump folk in there, and they was trying to, we'll pay for your meals and so forth. And I'm like, I'll stay at home and eat a bologna sandwich before I let you pay for me a meal, thinking I'm going to vote for Trump. And do you know they gave that girl $6,000 for going up on stage saying that? And
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
But anyway, Keep it up, my sister.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
All
So
right.
just real quick, I want to pull this. Do I got to take a break? Okay. Take a break. Okay, let me take a break. And I just went back one more time. I wanted to make sure I pull this. I've talked about it before. I will again real quickly. This whole piece on the stimulus checks, because y'all do need to be armed with the facts and information. And you know what? If you got your cell phone in your hand, this is a quick verification moment. Literally, all you got to do is type in Trump and stimulus checks. One of the first articles that always pops up is one by Politico, which completely refutes that Trump was trying to give people money when he realized that the he was going to lose this argument, though, because something had to be done to help stabilize the U.S. economy. That's when he decides, well, then I'm gonna capitalize off of it and put my name on the truck, on the actual check. But there is a whole ton of information out there that he was against it, just like he was against them doing something at the immigration at the border most recently. And all of this nonsense on FEMA, I got to talk about that this morning, because FEMA has had to slow down some of their work in North Carolina because some of these idiot followers of Donald Trump and these people believing this nonsense that he has been telling and spreading about FEMA, they are attacking the responders. These people are here to help y'all, and they're attacking the responders. So FEMA is pulling their people back. But instead of pulling them back, you need to send them in there with the National Guard and the military. Run your butt over here if you want to and see what happens. I wouldn't pull them back. I'm not going to stop other people from getting services, but let the silly ones run over here and see what happens. You'll get them handcuffs on you so fast and be chained to a tree until we get a jail cell up and running again. Run over here. I would love to tell the White House, don't use that strategy, because then you're going to feed into what's being said about FEMA not helping. Arrest them people. I don't know why when it comes to arresting white folks, everybody be so timid. Arrest them people. Arrest them. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. hit me up on the Paulina Gutierrez situation down at City Hall. I mean, the Milwaukee Election Commission. And they said, yes, that they had heard that the number 2 deputy, the person whose residency is in question, is the ex sister-in-law of Paulina Gutierrez. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. But I do know Paulina. So I'm actually going to reach out and call her and ask her. So we'll see. And how, and does that play a factor in why you would give somebody incentive pay of 3% and they don't actually live in the city of Milwaukee? Or does dual residency accomplish that? It just does not stop. Got somebody on the phone line. Let's go to the caller. Say, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I heard you talking about anything getting done down there in those old hurricanes. Now, I understand oatmeal is better than no meal. So a little bit is better than nothing. But at a time like that, what can $750 do on FEMA?
That's not all that they're doing is $750. And I wish people would stop telling that lie, because that's a lie.
Break it down? No, it's not a lie.
Yes, it is. They're doing more than $750.
I understand that. But why don't you break it down?
But then why would you start off your sentence by saying, well, what is $750 going to do if you know they're doing more than that?
This is per family, though. The other money to come in and rebuild the infrastructure, we know is way in the billions. But we talking about to suffice families right now that need places to go, need money to get out of town, need money to get back in town. You understand? When you talk about billions of dollars, you're talking about rebuilding infrastructure, man. You're talking about insurance claims. When you talk about that kind of money, but we're talking about the money that they're trying to designate to a family. $750 and something. This Travis Scott, and I'm trying to eat. Let me tell you something. $750 in a situation like this is an embarrassment. When you talked about the National Guards going down, and I agree with you, they should have the National Guards down there, especially with a lot of the first responders, because they do a lot of stealing in those situations. If you ever been a part of that and ever went down and seen. But at the same time, those same National Guards that you're talking about should have their butts on the border, stopping this population replacement that's going to replace.
So let's be clear. $750 was being provided to people so that they could immediately get some essentials. That was not the end all be all to everything. Again, you need money to be able to go and get you some toothpaste, some water, something to wash your behind with. That's what you're getting $750 for. It is a immediate, no questions asked, not a loan. Just here goes some money so you can at least get a few things.
Thousands of dollars worth of food stamps immediately.
Wait, say what now? What did you just say about food stamps?
You gotta quit now. You gotta quit at some point.
You know what? I can't with y'all. I can absolutely not, because it's not the only thing that's being done. They understood that people needed some money in their hand right away. But at the end of the day, somebody also got to be accountable too. So if I'm just giving, what you want me to give them? $3,000 immediately right out the gate to walk away, unchecked, unaccounted for. I don't know who's getting money and what's going on. They got to have some kind of system in place. But there are tons of programs and services available to people. There are. So let's not frame it as this is all they were getting. That's emergency money meant to help people get water, food, breastfeeding supplies, diapers, personal hygiene items, things that they need right away. And then when you think about, somebody say $750 is not a lot of money. It's not, but I got that in my hand right now to walk out the door, no questions asked, not paying it back, so I can immediately go get what I need at this exact second. Then I got time to be able to come back and apply for all the other different programs, dollars, and resources that are available to try to help me. But this is something, because the grocery stores and the places where you going to order food or wherever you can get something from, they need their money right now. So I'm just trying to put some money in your hands right now until we can get through the line and sort this out and figure out what people got to have. So I'm just trying to get you some money right now, so that you can go get some baby formula, so that you can go get some diapers, so that you can go get whatever it is that you got to have immediately. This is immediate money, not long-term money, immediate money. And if I'm doing that for tens and thousands of people, $750 becomes $700 million quick. You know, it's easy to say what can and can't be done and what we got and don't have. And then we still taking care of other disasters from other parts of the country. And then you got members of Congress who hold up funding money to FEMA in a way that helps make sure we can take care of all of these people. So on one hand, while I'm sure it's a joke, $750 is better than having nothing at this exact moment when I need to go buy some diapers for my baby's bottom until I can get this figured out. You're talking about doing this on a large scale. This isn't being done for 100 people. This isn't being done for 1,000 people. This is being done for tens of thousands of people. Do the math on that. Money don't fall out the sky. You got to have Congress making sure that they are appropriating the money that's needed for FEMA to run efficiently. And then we coming off Helene. Now we got Milton. What did we have before Helene? It's money going out the door, hand over fist. This wasn't the only disaster that this agency is dealing with. And some of them have come within a week or two of each other. And they're more catastrophic each time. So it's easy to sit up and talk about what ought to be done, should be done, can be done, but this is still government money. And it's not like the Biden administration is going in there and saying, don't give anybody some money. There are already rules and guidelines and protocols set up before the emergencies happen. They don't change because the emergency happened. They're in place to deal with the emergency. So, you know, just acting like, oh my God, they're not doing nothing for these people. That's not true. It's not true. And where there may only be $750 in cash at the moment to backfill it with water and food and supplies and people on the ground. You know, you still got people trying to save people and rescue people. Folks kill me raising hell. They ain't about to go do nothing for nobody. This idiot goes to Puerto Rico and is throwing paper towels at people while his wife wearing a jacket say, we don't care. But you got something to say. Money ain't free. It don't fall out the sky. They're going to take care of these people to the best of their ability. But everybody won't be made 100% whole. They won't. And the same way hardly want nobody doing no bunch of crying for the people coming out of Katrina. And then you allow these companies no longer to insure people. I'm thinking it was North Carolina where they said like 90% or 80-some% of the people down there were uninsured because of these disasters. The insurance company won't even insure these people anymore. So many of these people won't be able to replace anything that they had. But you got an idiot running around who wants to be president, who's doing everything he can to dog the very federal agencies that's trying to figure out how to help. Like, just take a moment and do that for a second, because ain't nobody else coming to rescue them. The Red Cross can go, but they only got so much resources. So how you going to dog and beat down and discourage the very people that's trying to help to the point that folks are now attacking the FEMA workers? These people don't make no choices. They just executing the plan. These are everyday workers being dispatched in from all over the nation to try to figure out how to be of assistance. And now, because you got an idiot who does not know how to lead, only to stir the pot and stir division, he is inciting people to the point that they are attacking the very people that can hand them the $750. I don't know what y'all want. It ain't never good enough. But this dude ain't about to help nobody. If he had it his way, he would not even have the funding appropriately for FEMA because he's too busy paying for U.S. service members. Secret Service members to stay in his hotels and bleeding the country dry. How do y'all keep coming up with excuses for this behavior? What he has said and done is irresponsible. This is not what leaders do. You dog the very American service agencies trying to figure out how to help. And I'm not saying these people are perfect. I'm not saying they get it right every time, but I am saying these are our systems and we have to figure out how to make them work. You don't do that by beating up on people and dogging them to the point that these workers are now in harm's way. Idiot. Because now I don't need to come into your state. North Carolina, figure it out on your own. Since you want to get behind Donald Trump and y'all want to attack FEMA workers, figure it out on your own. Because if you understand the depth and breadth of the work of FEMA, it is massive. The dollars we are getting ready to spend as a country to try to put this stuff in some kind of working order again, it is massive money. But then we can always figure out a way to tie that to, but an immigrant got a loaf of bread. An immigrant got some food stamps. That one don't have nothing to do with the other. Well, that's why we can't pay for FEMA, because we helping immigrants. These are budgets that are already set and in place. Nobody took money out the FEMA account to give to immigrants. That's not how this works. Nobody borrowed from the natural disaster account to pay immigrants. Now, do you have people that are not making the correct decisions to fund FEMA adequately? Do we have Republicans who keep running and lying about climate change and not taking seriously what we need to do as a nation to prevent some of these massive storms? Yes, that's happening. You have silly Republicans right here in the state of Wisconsin following suit with Republicans all over the country that wanted the words climate change, global warming stricken from state documents because they want to act like none of this stuff is happening, that the way we live as people is not helping to destroy the earth. It's not warming the earth. It's not messing up the ecosystem. So their brilliant, genius way to deal with it is to ignore it. And so you have Republicans ordering that phrases like climate change be stricken from state documents. And then you want to get hot about how much money somebody getting. Get hot about the work that's not being done on the front end to stop these things in the first place. See, that's why I keep telling y'all, stop calling me acting like y'all do politics, because you don't. You play them. You take a soundbite and you run with them. But you can't talk to me about Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene and Hurricane nothing until you help me understand what we are doing as a nation and a world that's making these weather systems worse. Because the science is out there. We choose to ignore it because it requires regulation. It requires us to treat businesses differently. It requires a different level of accountability, and people don't want to do that. So don't call me screaming and hollering about what FEMA is doing and not calling me screaming and hollering about what we are not doing as a country to make sure that we deal with these weather systems in a way that's responsible. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Sister Bryant. How you feel?
I'm good, bro. How you doing this morning?
I don't know if that was a good question, how you feel, but anyway. Hey, Debo, how you doing, my brother? Hey, I might be on the late show with this, but I just wanted to know if you got any information or the community got any information about the Amico, Jimmy Amico on 8th and Atkinson. They've been closed like the last week or so. Now, I need some gas. I really need some gas for my people, so I'm trying to figure it out. Do you know if they closed permanently, or you know anything about that?
I have not heard anything about it, but that's Pastor Monk, right? You said 8th and Atkinson, right?
Right. Well, yeah, Miss Flowers used to own that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Black,
that's Pastor
black,
Monknam had that. I'll reach out to them and ask them what's going on with it.
yeah, because they've been closed for like they got bags of like the last week, roughly a week now. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Let me reach out to them and see if I can find out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. The power to the people.
Yeah, my man. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Time it is. All right.
I will see if we can find out what's going on with the gas station. If anybody else knows, let me know. Stating that they took money from, hang on, somebody said they sent me something last week saying that they took money from FEMA to help the immigrants, blah, 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 for migrants. Hang on. Oh my God, I see the caller. I'm coming. Again, y'all got bigger problems than money. As we are trying to figure out how to address all of the different issues. Okay, here we go. Let's see, CBS News. Absolutely not. Top U.S. border official. This says disaster funds have not been diverted from migrant care. The U.S. government is absolutely not diverting hurricane and disaster relief funds to subsidize the care of migrants crossing the southern border. Top Customs and Border Protection officials told CBS News in an exclusive interview. The inaccurate claims about the Biden administration using FEMA disaster response funding to process or resettle migrants have surfaced as communities in North Carolina, Florida, and other states reel from hurricanes Helene and Milton. Asked if there was any truth to those claims, the director responded, absolutely not. The shelter services program is authorized, independently funded by Congress. It has nothing to do with disaster relief funds. Press further if any disaster recovery funds are being diverted towards the shelter services program for migrants. Again, a one-word response, none. So the false claims about FEMA and migrant funds, the false and misleading claims about FEMA disaster response funding gained steam online following the devastation by Hurricane Helene. At a rally in Michigan earlier this month, Trump accused the Biden administration of stealing FEMA money for immigration purposes. They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to illegal migrants. J.D. Vance saying same thing. The Biden administration, according to Vance, has said that they have turned FEMA effectively into an agency that helps to resettle and helps to deal with illegal immigration. But see, again, here go a couple of things. Number one, we could be dealing with the border if y'all boy had allowed Republicans to sign the legislation. We could be dealing with some aspects of this right now. So again, don't cry to me about whether or not some money is being used for migrants when your boy refused to do something about migrants when they had a chance just a few months ago. I don't want to give Joe Biden a win. Y'all kill me in what y'all focus in on. Stop letting people lead y'all and guide y'all and say, look over here at the purple flower. Don't look at the yellow liquid that's leaking all over everything and turning the flower purple. Don't look at that. Just look at the flower. For every story you produce to me that says migrant money is coming from FEMA, I can give you official documents from the government that says it is not. I'm just saying. But even if you believe that, which I do not, still get to the heart of the problem. People cannot be in this country, whether they have come in here illegally or not, and not be fed. We don't let people die of starvation because they're in this country illegally. And we capture them, we have them, we're holding them, we're detaining them. They still have to eat. They still have to eat. The same way we fed Jeffrey Dahmer until the day he got killed in jail, they still have to eat. That's not what we do. But y'all gonna stop acting like migrants is the end all be all of every problem in this country. It's not. It's not. And y'all gonna stop letting people make y'all believe that these people are the worst people on the planet. They are not. And every fault and everything that's wrong with your sad little life is tied to a migrant. It's not. Many of y'all are not impacted, not one way, shape, or form by a migrant being in this country. You're not. Folks that was hollering in Chicago, y'all giving these people someplace to stay. Well, if they had the money and the wherewithal to give it to them, and they wanted to give it to y'all, they could have been gave it to y'all. They didn't. Because they don't really care about us. This don't have nothing to do with the migrants. We just giving y'all somebody to hate and redirect your anger instead of putting it where it should be. You ain't mad with the people making the policy. You mad with the folks that are getting help. Think about that for a second. Migrants ain't reaching into your bank account and taking no money out your account. Migrants aren't making laws to say put more money on a food stamp card. Migrants aren't doing anything. So you mad with the migrants, but not with the people that you feel like are making these decisions. And these are not Democrats making these decisions solely about helping people. We have systems in this country. They don't always work, but we have them. But you're not upset about so much more that you could be upset about. You're not upset about the failing school district. MPS got a meeting coming up today to talk about what they're going to be doing. Ain't nobody up at it's so much to rally around. You keep letting people tell you what you're supposed to be hot about. But most of the people calling me about these migrants, you're not being personally impacted in not one way, shape, or form about a migrant being in this community at all. You ain't got less money. You ain't got less services. You ain't got less resources because they in town. The overwhelming majority of people hollering about migrants are not immediately impacted by these people at all. And this whole, well, I care about the money and the country having enough money, then you ought to be somewhere protesting while these corporations are able to pay less in income taxes than you and I do. I don't hear that. I don't hear that hue and cry. How some of the wealthiest people in this country pay far less or no income taxes when we struggling and in a repayment plan with in a payment plan with the IRS. I don't hear that. I don't hear that. No outrage when Jared Kushner is given a security clearance, even when he couldn't pass the test. No hue and cry, no outrage. Donald Trump literally puts this country at risk when the Secret Service says your son-in-law's finances is so raggedy and so out of order that he is susceptible to being influenced by a foreign entity. Hell no, he can't get no security clearance. And what does Donald Trump do? Take out his pen, his big black magic marker to compensate for other things, I believe. And he, scribbles all over the paper, give him a security clearance anyway, because as the president of the United States, he has the ability to do that. But Secret Service has said, your boy is a threat. And truth be told, you won too. We just can't do nothing about it. Anybody that's filed bankruptcy 5 times and credit is so bad, you can't borrow money in the United States, you are a threat risk to this country. Because somebody could come along with a bag of money and offer it to you and you do some shiesty stuff because you broke. You're ethically challenged when it comes to money. Truth be told, Donald Trump most likely could not pass a security clearance background to even work in the White House as the receptionist or the greeter or the tour guide or the person who cleans the White House toilets. The likelihood is great that this man, who is great on the economy, most likely because of how he has handled himself financially, could not pass a security clearance to mop the floors in the White House. Callers, I see you. I'll be right there. I said I wanted to take one quick second and go back for the caller who said, Donald Trump was giving out the money and had to argue with these people about Donald Trump. I just want to remind folks that those stimulus checks were tied into the coronavirus bill, $900 million. We were also up against a government shutdown. There had to be action taken, and Donald Trump did not want to see the amount of money that was going out in that bill happen. And I said 900 million, it's $900 billion corona relief bill. 1.4 trillion government funding going into the bill. And Trump had to be lobbied by Republicans, by his friends, to say, look, while you trying to hold out on signing this, you trying to change this, you trying to take this out, the country is up against the clock. Unemployment checks are already being impacted. Voters are going to remember who stood in the way. Congress is about to end its session in 6 days. You have got to sign this bill. He had to be pushed kicking and screaming to sign the bill that ultimately ends up helping the country. You don't take my word for it. Use your phone, Google the stories yourself. And then when I see I can get some brownie points and potentially some voters, then I say, I need my name on the check going to people. It is just beyond frustrating. And I know for so many people, I know I am not unique in this. There is tons of evidence to support everything that I'm saying. And there will be people who will try to explain it all away. This whole fallacy about Donald Trump being some financial guru and some brilliant financier. You come to the table with a boatload of money from your daddy. You mess half of that up, if not all of it. You have cheated, schemed, and connived all along the way. And then we won't talk about the moral side of this individual. Where 19 women come forward and say, I've been sexually assaulted by him. But you fix your mouth to call Kamala Harris a B. But that same level of vitriol is not used against Donald Trump. I don't understand. But I'm not going to wait around for you to come around. I'm not going to wait around for you to figure it out. People going to keep moving and doing what they have to do to get the outcome we need for this nation to be okay on November 5th. I can't worry about who not coming. I can't worry about it. Because as I said, we only vote in this nation, and I got to go back and pull a percentage. We don't even vote at like 60% as a people in this nation. 40% easily of eligible American voters stay they behind at home for any myriad of reasons. They don't even participate. So I'm not going to lose my mind about, certain people coming out and saying, they don't support her. Because like I said, the likelihood is great that they didn't vote anyway. That's real. Because, I have been blown away by people in my own family who sit up and talk a whole bunch of stuff. And then come to find out none of them Negroes was voting. None of them. Almost had a heart attack. Because finally, just certain things wasn't adding up what they were saying about the process and what they had to do. And I started like, wait, what happened? So when you went to the polls, everything they was describing, Negro, you ain't stepped foot in no polling location. That is not how that go. And then finally got them to admit, have you voted? And then I found out some of them hadn't even voted for Barack. Why are we talking? And I had told people, I'm done having conversations with Negroes who don't vote. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. You ain't gonna keep running up my blood pressure. And you don't even get off your behind and go do what you need to do to cast the ballot one way or the other. I'm done with that. Jim Clyburn said it very well on CNN when asked about the black male voter problem and Kamala Harris. I got to work with who's willing to work with me. I can't worry about nobody else. Everybody got to do what they think is right for them. Because as I have frequently said on this show, you can't bring everybody. Where those old sayings, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can't bring everybody. It's some folks going to get left behind. The tragedy, though, in this moment is if we don't bring enough people, the consequences are dire. Because you have an unhinged individual who would be at the helm, surrounded by people that are willing or excited for the type of destruction that he brings. And all of these little black folks who think they in some way getting ready to benefit from Donald Trump, I just want to ask you, tell me how you benefited the last time. Because the foundation had been laid by Barack Obama. A lot of the heavy lifting had been done by Barack Obama. And I literally have got to go back through the archives of our shows and find it when I said it on air, that I was the one thing that I was so bothered by when Trump got elected. That a lot of the foundational work that had been done by Barack that hadn't come to fruition yet, but these plans had already been in play. Money had already been allocated. The work had already been begun. But the buildings was going to go up and be finished under the Trump administration. The manifestation of the work was going to show up under the Trump administration. And who was going to claim credit? And who was credit going to unfairly be attributed to Donald Trump? But it was not his work. And if his life is any indicator, he's not capable of that kind of work. Not even capable. During COVID-19, you had an opportunity to lead. You led us right into the ground. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
All right, how you doing?
Yeah, I came in a little late, and I didn't know if y'all talked about Charlie Sykes voting Democrat, and he about one of the. I know he about one of the racist person I know in Wisconsin, and he got a lot of power in the Republican Party and everything, because he was one of the reasons why Mike McGee was put off the air, because when his mother burned up in the fire, I think it was George Bush that directly called him on his show and gave his condolences. I don't know if it was Bush or Trump or whichever one it was. And I know Gerard Randall, he probably one of the most I mean, the most, Republican person to in Wisconsin and represent a Republican, and I'm trying to see why black people can't understand if this man Charlie Sykes will not vote for Donald Trump. This should tell black people something. I mean, all black people. It should tell them something something is just not right. And I'm sorry we didn't have enough time to talk about this, but somebody should, just look at this and see. He knows something. That's why,
I got
he
you, bro.
wouldn't do it.
Look,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you for the call. I'm up against the clock. I appreciate it. We will have this conversation tomorrow because to the point that the brother is making, you got more than 100 Republicans, prominent Republicans that have come out and said that they are not supporting Donald Trump. Many of these people are folks who actually have worked in his administration, who have seen him up close and personal. Former military people, former generals who have said under no circumstances would they be bothered with this man again. So I'm just saying that the writing is on the wall. People just choose to look at another wall. And, for the person who keeps texting me, I'm not going to stay stuck on stupid with you, fam. I'm just not. I got to go. Y'all have a great day. Peace. Say something real. Say something real. It's the third.